Hello everyone, welcome to class. This is Dr. Rani Kommidi, working as a contract lecturer in Government Degree and PG College, Siddipeta, Department of Botany. Earlier classes we are discuss about the phytohormones. Phytohormones are 5 types: auxin, cytokinin and gibberellins. These 3 are the growth promoting substances. Today we are discussing about the growth inhibiting phytohormones. This is 2 types. First one is the abscisic acid and second one is the ethylene. So now we can start abscisic acid. Abscisic acid, it is a growth inhibitor in plant hormone which now ranks in importance with the other hormones. So the history of abscisic acid: in 1940s, scientists isolated a substances from saccharum. So this is saccharum leaves called Dormis. Dormins. In the early 1960s, Eagle and Philip, so they confirmed that application of a dormant to a bird would induce a dormancy. So they can first time isolated and called as a dormancy. F.T. Adicott in 1963. F.T. Adicott in 1963, he discovered a substances. It is stimulated abscission of cotton fruit. So first time he named this substance as abscissin 2. In 1964, it became evident that the 3 groups had discovered the same plant hormone. So later on the name was changed to abscisic acid. ABA means abscisic acid. So first time F.T. Adicott in 1963, he discovered abscission, that is isolated from cotton fruit. Cotton fruit, that name that substances as a abscissin 2. So that's why we can call it as the abscisic acid. So it is a growth inhibitor plant hormone. First, it is the main character of abscisic acid was generally first isolated from cotton plants and was named abscissin 2. Also in 1960, Eagles and Waring, they can isolated an active substances of leaves of maple, that is acer plant, acer leaves. So leaves of acer, and called it dormin. Abscissin 2, abscissin 1 and dormin. So these 3 substances we can call as that abscisic acid. Abscissin 2 and dormin are the same substances. So where we can isolate from the cotton fruit, that is abscissin 2, and dormin. Dormin is isolated from the leaves of acer. So these 2 substances which is now called as the ABA, abscisic acid. Generally, abscisic acid occurrence and distribution, it is a ubiquitous plant hormone in vascular plants. So first occurrence of the abscisic acid, it is presented in all plant hormones in vascular plants. In bryophytes, it has been found in mosses but not in liverworts. Only it is found in the bryophytes. In the evolutionary bryophyte taxa is mosses but not in liverworts. So bryophyta plants are divided as the 3 classes. First one is the bryophyta plants are divided into 3 classes: hornworts, liverworts and mosses. But this abscisic acid is present in only mosses only, but not in liverworts. So some fungi synthesis abscisic acid as a secondary metabolites. A15C compound, it is called as the lunaric acid, has been found in algae and liverworts also. Abscisic acid is synthesized in all types of cells that contain chloroplast or other plastids. So it occurs predominantly in mature green leaves. Abscisic acid has been detected all major organs or living tissues from root cap to the apical buds. So it occurs the phloem sap, xylem sap and in the nectar glands of the plant pods. This is the occurrence and distribution of the abscisic acid. Next we can see the chemistry of abscisic acid. So the abscisic acid is a terpenoid. Chemically these are terpenoids. Its chemical structure was determined by Okuma and co-workers. Generally the abscisic acid is occurring in cis and trans isomers. So that's why in the slide we can show that cis and trans isomers of the abscisic acid. Abscisic acid contains an asymmetric carbon atom due to which two different configuration, that is the cis and trans forms. So it contains an asymmetric carbon atom. So it's due to the which two different forms, cis form and trans forms. They are possible around the double bond of carbon atom number 2 of the side chain. So we can see the slide also. Two box, first is the cis form of the abscisic acid and second one is the trans form of the abscisic acid. Abscisic acid structurally it is closely related to the carotenoids and they contain 15 carbon atoms. So it is related to the carotenoid structure and contain 15 carbon atoms. One should remember that natural and synthetic abscisic acid differ in their optical characteristics, that is natural abscisic acid enantiomer. So synthetic abscisic acid enantiomer, but their activity in bioSON quite similar. So we can see the cis and trans forms of the abscisic acid. The light isomers, the cis and trans isomers of abscisic acid. So we can, these two are the isomer forms of the abscisic acid. In this light isomers abscisic acid to a mixture of the cis and trans structures, and this photolytic conversion is thought to account for the preserve of the inactive isomers in plant extracts. So the orientation of the carboxyl group at carbon 2 determines cis and trans isomers of the abscisic acid. In this cis abscisic acid biologically very active and trans abscisic acid biologically inactive in the action of the abscisic acid. So in these two forms, cis and trans, these are called as the isomers of the abscisic acid. Cis form is biologically very active in condition and trans is the biologically inactive condition of the isomer of the abscisic acid. Nearly all the naturally occurring abscisic acid in plants exist in the cis form, that is biologically active, and name abscisic is usually refers to this form also. So we can generally call it as the cis form is the abscisic acid. It is very active in condition. It is very useful in the form of the structure of the abscisic acid also. And next we can go to the physiological effects of the abscisic acid. So the potential growth inhibitor has the following physiological effects. First one is the dormancy. Dormancy in birds and seeds can be induced by abscisic acid. So during unfavorable environmental conditions, the concentration of the gibberellins decrease in birds. At the same time, abscisic acid accumulates in higher concentrations. As a result, dormancy is induced. In potato tubers, abscisic acid inhibits the sprouting of buds also. So, dormancy in buds and seeds can be induced by the ABA, abscisic acid. This is the first function or physiological effect of the abscisic acid. And the second one is the senescence. Senescence means it is the refers to the degradative changes leading to the death of plant pods. Senescence means it refers to degradative changes leading to the death of plant pods. In this, abscisic acid induces the senescence in mature leaves, pollinated flowers and mature fruits. So, it is caused to the senescence of the different plant parts of the plants, that is the leaves, flowers and mature fruits. In leaves and green colored fruits, abscisic acid promotes chlorophyll degradation. So, when green colored oranges are treated with abscisic acid, they become yellow due to the development of carotenoids. The fruit of tomato become red due to the development of lycopene. So, this is the generally the senescence of the abscisic acid effect. And third one is the abscission. Abscission means it refers to the shedding of plant parts due to development of a cork-like separating layer at their bases. So, it means it is caused to the shedding of the plant parts, either leaf or flower or any part of the plant. It's causes by the abscisic acid. So, shedding of plant parts due to development of a cork-like separating layer at their bases. So, it induces the abscission by promoting the formation of abscission layer. This is the third physiological effect of the abscisic acid. And fourth one is the abscisic acid, it protection from water stresses. So, it promotes stomatal closure when sufficient amount of water is not present in the plant body. Abscisic acid promotes stomatal closure when sufficient amount of water it is not present in the plant body. Thus, the water present in the plant body is conserved. So, when abscisic acid is present in high concentration, it inhibits the physiological effect of auxins, gibberellins and cytokinins. So, it is also called the stress hormone. That's why generally it is the growth inhibitor hormone. It's called as the stress hormones also. So, it's protection from water stresses. It is the promote from the abscission and it promotes the senescence. It promotes to the dormancy. These four are the very important functions or important physiological effects by abscisic acid only. Next we can see the ethylene. Now we can action of the abscisic acid or physiological effect of the abscisic acid or functions of the abscisic acid. So, abscisic acid, it is applied externally, it distributed in all directions. Cell to cell transport is very slow. Abscisic acid synthesized in root cap, transported to the central vascular tissues. So, it is synthesized in root part and it is the translocated to the total plant through the vascular tissue, xylem or phloem. So, it transported mostly in its free form. Free form means the cis form of the abscisic acid. And abscisic acid transported in a conjugated form as abscisic acid beta D glucosyl ester. So, redistribution of abscisic acid, it is the pH gradient. At low pH, they can promoted on or undissociated form of the abscisic acid. at high pH it is dissociated form of the abscisic acid. Next, the developmental and physiological role of the abscisic acid. So generally abscisic acid it is promote the seed dormancy, senescence and abscission and apical dominance of the some of the sprouting of the axillaries. So abscisic acid is promotes the stomatal closing and it is induces the bud dormancy and seed dormancy. Abscisic acid is inhibits precocious germination and vivipary, and abscisic acid promotes root growth and inhibits shoot growth in stressed water condition. So we can see the one by one of the physiological effect. So first, stomatal closing. Stomatal closing is the abscisic acid plasma membrane receptor. So the abscisic acid mutants means the cis and trans form of the abscisic acid that lack the ability to produce ABA. It can exhibit permanent wilting and are called wilty mutants because of their inability to the close their stomata. So this is the opening and it's promote the closing of the stomata. And stomatal closing can also be caused by the abscisic acid. It is synthesized in the roots and exports to the shoot part. So abscisic acid is generally it's promote the closing of the stomata. So next one is the generally abscisic acid growth of the seed. It suspended the dormant seeds. So seed dormancy. Seed dormancy means abscisic acid is a potent inhibitor to seed germination and its presence has major quality in dormant seeds. It confirms its role in maintaining the seed dormancy. So the abscisic acid growth of the seed suspended, that is the dormant seeds. And primarily not only seed dormancy but bud dormancy in various organs and plants is maintained by the abscisic acid. So abscisic acid is easily leached from plant tissues and is it a non-toxic. Growth resumes as soon as it is removed or its level is reduced due to the metabolic activity. So that's why the action of the abscisic acid is the seed dormancy. Its growth of the seed suspended, that is dormant seeds. Primary dormancy and secondary dormancy also occur in these forms, controlled by the ratio of the abscisic acid to the GA. And embryo dormancy is GA means gibberellic acid, controlled by the ratio of the two different plant hormones. So abscisic acid is the plant inhibitory growth hormone and gibberellin is the generally growth promoting substances. So these two phytohormones are controlled by the ratio of the seed dormant. And embryo dormancy is due to the presence of inhibitors. So earlier we can said already, especially abscisic acid as well as the absence of growth promoters such as the gibberellic acid. The loss of embryo dormancy is often associated with a sharp drop in the ratio of the abscisic acid and gibberellic acid. So these two phytohormones are interlinked with the dormancy, seed dormancy purpose of the plant action of the abscisic acid. And they can induce dormancy of buds also. So dormant buds, that is the shortened internodes and specially modified leaves, that is the bud scales. So most of the trees, they can buds formed late summer and remain dormant throughout the winter. So leaves of the endogenous abscisic acid is very high. Herbaceous plants, for example potato. So potato is induced the dormancy of the buds. This is the seed dormant function is many through that abscisic acid. So it's promote the seed dormancy. And second one is the inhibit precocious germination and vivipary. So when immature embryos are removed from their seeds and placed in culture medium, they germinate precociously. When immature embryos are removed from their seeds and placed in culture medium, they germinate precociously. Abscisic acid added to that culture, abscisic acid added to that culture medium, it can be inhibits the precocious germination also. So this result in combination with the fact that the level of endogenous abscisic acid is high during mid to late seed development, it suggests that the abscisic acid is the natural constraint that keeps developing embryos in their embryogenic state. So during seed development, embryos of monocot and dicot plants may fall to complete maturation and germinate while the immature seeds is still attached to the maternal tissue. So this phenomenon is referred to as a vivipary or pre-harvest sprouting. So it can it can promote the vivipary condition of the plants also. So this is germination and vivipary. And in maize, several viviparous mutants have been selected in which the embryos germinate directly on the cob. So while still attached to that plant. Vivipary in the abscisic acid deficient mutants can be partially prevented by treatment with exogenous abscisic acid. And the deteriorative process that naturally terminate their functional life referred to as senescence. So the abscisic acid it's promote the senescence and abscission also. Abscisic acid is known to accelerate the senescence. It is so named as it is plentiful in leaves that have recently been shed or abscissed. So application of this hormone to some plants, it can be causes leaf and fruit abscission. That's why the abscisic acid is the promote the senescence and abscission. So expression of senescence associated genes increases and hydrolytic enzymes, that is proteases, ribonucleases, lipases. This is the hydrolytic enzymes also enacted with the abscisic acid. Abscisic acid involved in senescence of leaves but not the abscission of the leaves. So this is the physiological effects of the abscisic acid. And apical dominance also. So abscisic acid is known to induce sprouting of the axillaries. That's why it is promote the apical dominance of the plants. These are the affected by the two physiological effect of the abscisic acid. Next we will go to the ethylene. Next growth inhibitor hormone is the ethylene. So ethylene, it is a volatile gaseous growth regulator which promotes senescence and ripening of fruits in plants. So in the plant body, ethylene is formed from the amino acid methionine. The precursor of the ethylene, that is the amino acid methionine. So in this slide we can see that ethylene structure. Ethylene is a hydrocarbon. As the name suggests, it has 4 atoms of hydrogen bonds that are paired with carbon atoms with a double bond. All these 6 atoms, hydrogen, carbon, hydrogen, they can form an angle of 117.4 degrees close to the 120 degrees to form a hybridized carbon sp square, sp2. So this is the ethylene structure. Now you can see the structure of the ethylene, CH2 and CH2, CH2 double bond, CH2. It is a volatile gaseous state. So It regulate the promotes senescence and ripening of the fruits in plants. Remaining all are the generally chemical formulas different, but ethylene is the gaseous stage, gaseous form of the structure CH2 and CH2 double bond CH2. Next we can see the properties of the ethylene. So the colorless gas at room temperature and pressure. The melting point is that minus 169 degrees centigrade and boiling point is minus 104 degrees centigrades. So it is a gaseous state and colorless gas. The temperature and pressure of that ethylene is melting point is the minus 169 degrees centigrade and boiling point is the minus 104 degree centigrade. So just like the gas slightly sweet smell, it may be slightly sweet smell and it is the flammable. Generally the gas is flammable state of that gas and non-polar molecule. They soluble in non-polar solvents. The active site is the double bond. For example, ethylene readily undergoes addition reactions. So CH2 double bond CH2 gaseous form, it is undergoes the addition reactions only. The active site is the double bond. Double bond means C double bond C, CH2 double bond CH2. So in between two carbons the double bond is occur, that is very active site and it is readily undergo to the addition reactions. So next we can go to the properties or effects of the ethylene. Ethylene, it is included fruit ripening. Earlier we can said that fruit ripening, induction of flowering, loss of chlorophyll, abortion of plant parts, stem shortening, abscission means dropping of plant parts, epinacity and dormancy. It can be produced when plants are injured either mechanically or by diseases. These are all main effect by that plant inhibitor hormone, that is the ethylene. Fruit ripening is the main effect and induction of the flowering, loss of chlorophyll, abortion of plant parts, stem shortening, abscission of plant parts, epinacity means stems bend. The stems all are in bending condition. So and dormancy, it can be produced when plants are injured either mechanically or by diseases. These are all the effects of the ethylene. And mainly the uses of ethylene. What are the uses of the ethylene? It regulates a number of physiological processes and hence is used as a plant growth regulator. Majorly it regulates number of physiological processes. So that's why it is used as a plant growth regulator. And ethylene lamps are used for color development and ripening of the fruits such as banana, mango, apple, etc. These are all main caused by the ethylene. So first we can see the fruit ripening. Several degradative processes will take place during fruit ripening. The degradative process are the loss of chlorophyll, increase of carotenes and anthocyanins. So hydrolysis of pectin, etc. These are all a result of degradative processes. The fruit becomes soft and pulpy. Ethylene promotes ripening of fruits of several plants by enhancing the degradative processes. That's why it is very helpful in the fruit ripening parts. So that is main cause of the ethylene. Fruit ripening is caused by the ethylene only. And second one is the abscission. So ethylene promotes the abscission of the leaves, flowers and fruits. And we can say that epinacity. Epinacity means epinacity in leaves of tomato, potato, sunflower by the application of the ethylene. So it is caused due to the excessive growth of cells on the upper surface of the leaves. And next one is the inhibition of the flower bud opening. Ethylene prevents the opening of flower buds. Ethylene causes in rolling of petals in opened flowers. So this is called as the sleep disease also. And next one is the exudation of sap and latex. So ethylene promotes the process of guttation in several plants. It also promotes the flow of latex for longer duration in rubber plants. So it also promotes the exudation of gummy substances through the lenticels also. These are all the main physiological effects and uses. Means it is the used in the ripening of the fruits, and some of the plants is used as a plant, and it's used to number of physiological processes and in a plant. That's why this is called as the growth regulator. These are all the growth inhibitor substances, that is abscisic acid and ethylene. So thank you very much. Next we will meet again in another class. Thank you very much.